Welcome to a quick video on using Wacom's Inkling. Just to show you in this example, it's really more about once you've done the drawing and just getting it into your system, mainly through Photoshop and Illustrator, but also Sketchbook, just to show you a way of doing that. I don't have Sketchbook linked into the system here, but I'll show you how to get around that nonetheless. Okay, so the first thing is just when you want to get yourself set up, just up here under the help file, I'll just make sure I've selected on it, you'll see Inkling tutorial. I just want you to click on that, and I'm going to go down to just English here, and that'll just take me through to this little book. Now in this book, whether you're an illustrator or designer or just want to learn the features and benefits, there's going to be a range of tutorials that shows you how to charge it up right from the beginning, putting the battery into the pen, charging the cartridge, which needs about 3 hours to begin with, and using the Inkling and then just connecting it up. So it's a little clipper that you put on a A4 pad, it's up to A4 size, or sheet of paper, and just simply draw on it with the pen provided. And then once you finish, you just simply put it back into the casing, link it up with the USB, and off it goes. It should also automatically give the option to install the software if you don't have it already. Once it's installed and you don't see it once you plonk it in, just essentially go to the application folder and launch it from there. So I'm not going to take you through this because you can go through this. We want to get to the business of I've plugged it in and basically it comes up like so. Now what I've done here is I've just got two versions, and I saved a version just as a WAC file, say for the Wacom tablet, but nonetheless it should just be fine. But for a start, just here, by clicking this button here, you see hierarchical aspect of where it's placed, and it's on a volume, which is the plugged in volume through the USB, and it's storing my sketches here. Now, to start off the process, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my Sketch Manager, go to Inkling Manager here, or actually not the Manager, but to the Preferences. This is where you can check your paper size, straight at A4, I think it's a good size, basically landscape, and you can actually see where the clipper sits when you're actually working. Just be careful, I had my drawing a little bit close to the clipper and it didn't actually pick it up. You'll see that in the drawing itself, but not to worry. It's also, you can make it a little bit thicker, 0.1, it's a ballpoint pen effect, but you can actually change this around to get different line effects. And here you can actually test your pen, so you can actually plug your pen in directly with the Wacom tablet, the Wacom Inkling device to actually check all of this up. General tools basically just is where it's being documented and where you're going to save the stuff to once you're working on it. So we just looked at the pen and the mapping, and basically that's really about it, just setting up a few key things. Now once you're actually in this system as well, I'll just go OK. If you save it, you can save it, no problems. But if I want to save it to my main tools here, being Illustrator or Photoshop, that's simply a matter of just clicking on it, and off it'll go with whatever's selected here. So just select it and then click on these. Okay. Now I don't have my Sketchbook Pro linked up here, so what I'm going to do, just to show you how to do that if it's not actually in the system, there's another way around it. I'm just going to open the Inkling volume that actually came in, the drive that was through USB, and you'll see just a file here. I'm just going to drag my Wacom file, and I'm going to drag it down just onto my Sketchbook, which is just in the system here. Now Sketchbook should open up, and just opening up now. But there's a secret of working with Sketchbook, and what you need to do is you need to first of all make sure you set the right line, be it airbrush or marker or paintbrush, but set it before you go through that process, because it will bring it in to soft line, hard line, whatever the settings are. So works great in Sketchbook, and of course Sketchbook, like Photoshop, has all the layers and a great program to work with, whether you want to clean up your line or just paint into it, because sometimes the Inkling can just be a great starting device, and then you clean up for the final illustration. But anyway, so that's just in Sketchbook and a way of getting around Sketchbook if you don't have the plugin installed for that. Okay, so I'll just close that. I won't save that one. And just go back to my tools here. What I want to first look at is, just before we go over to Photoshop, you see the Photoshop Illustrator here. If I just double click on this tool here, I'm now into this main area, the tool, but I can actually access everything from save to, save as, just save or undo, redo, etc. To Illustrator or my main plugged in or linked in applications here. When I was recording the tool or the drawing, I just clicked the layered button on the clipper and it just recorded these two layers. Now the first thing, we've just got the scrubber. I can just click on this and you can actually basically scrub through and you see how the drawing process went through based on what I was selected for the layer here. But I'm just going to go through and show you the process of the drawing by clicking on player. I'm going to speed it up just a bit, so dragging it through to faster, and I'll just sort of play through here so you can see how the drawing took place. Going pretty quickly, but the whole drawing itself was probably no more than about 5 minutes. So just a quick one just to show you the process. Haven't spent a lot of time on there, but sometimes that's the beauty of working with the Inkling. You do a quick drawing and just get into your system and then really tweak it up for doing your digital illustrations to finish off. Sort of a nice way of starting with analog or traditional and finishing off with all the benefits of digital. So anyway, it's just recording the device here. Now this button here will just simply take me back, or these two buttons will take me to the next file that I might have several drawings I'd already stored in my Inkling pen. So, but I'm just going to go straight back. I've only got the one drawing there, but it would be many layers for each document, and then each document will come up just by clicking on the buttons. So let's just go back, and I'm back to the drawing here. Okay, so it's as simple as that. Double click and you're here. Just double click again and I'm back in. By the way, if I wanted to link any layers or turn them off, you can just access them from here and you can see how it's changing. Or alternatively, you can select a couple. I'll use the shift key. Both selected there, I might just want to merge those two. So really simple to do in that respects. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go back because I can also do it from here. I'm now going to go directly to Illustrator. So we'll have a quick look at that. So just loading up into Illustrator. Okay, now the advantage sometimes of going to Illustrator, we might need to go to the document setup and I'll just go to the edit artboards and just go to an A4 page and just click anywhere to get out of the artboards. Just reduce it down a bit, select it all and just drag it into position. So it's quite a big file in terms of lots of vectors and lots of points, etc. But what you can do, and what's one good advantage of working with Illustrator first, if you want a sort of a thicker line, I can just sort of select it all, just go up to my stroke, and then maybe just go to 1 point or 2 point. Just depends on how detailed the strokes are, and you can actually play around with those settings, all of course in vector. So it's a thicker line now, and let's zoom in close, just have a quick look. So it's sort of got a lot thicker than what it was. So I just undid that. It should actually just go down a little bit thinner. And you'll see it a little bit closer. So there it is, it's a thinner line. So it's easy, of course, to change any line thickness you want. And sometimes that's a great way to first work with Illustrator and just drag it into Photoshop. Nonetheless, works great with Photoshop as well, so I'm not going to save that. Just going to go back up here. This time, just to show the other way of working, I'm going to clip here, and I won't save that. I'll keep. Oh, yes, I'll keep the layers like so and reduce it down a little bit. And what I'm now going to do is just simply click on Photoshop here. You can also access this from the File menu as well. So a number of ways of doing that. So Photoshop should just be opening up, and it does open to quite a large document. You can always drop it down in size, so certainly a high quality line that comes through. So there's the image there. It's come through in a particular color, but of course one way of working, which I sort of like, if you just want to quickly change your pixel colors. By the way, you can see where I had it too close to the clipper up the top. Rather than fix up the drawing, what I'm going to do is just going to take it like so, and I just want to say turn it into a black line. But it's quite a nice line to work with when we zoom in, but I just want to take you through this process first. So I've just got only my images. There's 4 layers that I've got in this case. So if I just go up to here, and with one of those layers selected, I'm going to just merge visible. And with that layer, I want to change the whole color of the line. So just go and lock the pixels. Maybe I want to go to black here. So essentially just use your Option Delete or Alt Delete on a PC, and you'll see that it now changed to black. So locking the pixels, you can change any color. I can even put a gradient or just get my brush and paint on it. Just like so. If I go and choose another color and go to a warmer or maybe a more obvious color, and I'll go OK and just make the brush a little bit bigger. The brush there. And it should actually, with that layer selected, here it comes through now, very small brush, you'll see that's actually changing that aspect of the line, especially if you want to get multiple line color with your illustration. Really nice technique to quickly do that rather than just say sometimes all black. Anyway, so we're in Photoshop, and then on any of these other layers as we start working through, I can put other layers which I'm going to use for all the colouring up. Of course, I can still tweak my line as much as I want. So that's fine. I'm just going to shut that now and don't save. Don't save. And here we are back to our sketches again that we brought in the first place. So as you can see, it's a really quick, easy and fun process, which can be hopefully really helpful to speeding up your workflow from a traditional start to a digital finish.